Gentlemen, thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I appreciate your input. We've been meeting regularly about this and looking at what's best for our students, best for our schools and the families in Clay County, based on advice from health professionals, based on advice from people that we trust, both nationally and on our statewide level. It's been pretty much brought to our attention that we need to issue a declaration, and I've done that this afternoon, a declaration of local state of disaster due to a public health emergency. Now that affects our schools. It's already affected our schools. Some of you, I think Henrietta has already extended your spring break. Many of you are on spring break right now, but you and your school boards will need to make a decision about what to do next. This declaration gives us the authority to actually close schools. Now, that's the last thing on earth we want to do, but when you consider how serious this situation is, I believe it's something we're going to have to do. So I appreciate each of you and your attention to this matter. As far as how long they're going to be closed, I'm going to depend on each of you to advise us on what's the best way to do that. So it's a very serious situation, very unfortunate that we have to go through this. I know that you've got a lot of issues. I know there's school prom, softball, baseball, even maybe graduation that you're going to have to face as well. And I just want you to know that the county is available to you to assist you in whatever that is. I know that many of you will be delivering meals with your school buses, perhaps. Certainly that responsibility is going to continue. You've got staff you've got to worry about. So we're prepared to help you with that if at all possible. And what are your thoughts on that? What do you believe that we need to be doing?
Well, I think as we move forward, we see the cases rise each and every day, and now we have one in Wichita County. And so the main thing is keeping our kids and our community safe. We wanted to emphasize that we all have talked, and we're going to meet weekly via Zoom so we can keep up with this. But learning is essential to keep on. We're just going to do it non-traditionally. And for some of us, going virtual is not necessarily the answer, because in northern Clay County, we don't have the internet access. Some schools just don't have the devices, but we're going to make sure our kids get fed. That's number one priority, I think, on all of our plates, is make sure our kids get fed and make sure our staff's taken care of, and then we're going to educate. Just know it's going to be a little different, and it's going to require parents to be involved with us and help us out.
Well, no doubt about that. And I know that each of you have already started the process, working with your staff as well, to make that happen. Man, this is going to be a challenge. And certainly these are, the buzzword of the day is uncharted area. And certainly we're doing that. But the health and safety of our kids and their families is of utmost importance to each and every one of us. So we look forward to working with you. We will meet weekly, as you said, and review where we're at and make decisions based on your advice.
Mike. Judge Campbell, I think we had already agreed that for the public announcement for now is that all these county schools, all the 4 schools in this county, are unified, and that we're going to stay closed this week and next week, and we'll reevaluate that situation. But for now, the next possible opening would be April the 6th.
So we'll look at April the 6th as a target to possibly reopen the schools, and we'll evaluate between now and then. And it really comes down to how quickly the spread. As you said, we've had a report of one in Wichita County, which is our neighboring county. So certainly that plays into the decision that y'all and we make on this project. I think it is important that each of us are unified on this, with one school starting and others not. I think it's important that we all stay together on this project as far as when we start back up and give everybody the same opportunity. One of the things that I've noticed, and I believe is true, is that it's going to be more important than ever that we have a partnership with our parents. And the parents are going to be responsible for a large part of the learning now as well. And each student is going to be responsible for that as well. Secondary, I believe, the distance learning or the online learning may work okay. It's not the best, obviously, but it's, better than not doing anything. Obviously, your problems are going to be with your elementary and those kindergarten children. How are we going to handle that? We did get good news, I understand, from the state that the STAR test has been canceled, so that's a positive. So, I believe that the state national governments are obviously going to be open to new ideas and some new ways of doing things, and we may learn some things we've never learned before.
Well, I think we might add in there that as long as students and parents cooperate with us and do the remote learning, we're not going to have to make those days and minutes up. And we're not going to have to make this up in the summer as long as we have that cooperation. If they choose not to work and cooperate with us, then yes, we'll have to reschedule school and have it this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to stress the importance of that. And also, let's talk about social distancing and take this serious, because that's how we're going to keep it from spreading. This is not a spring break playover where we get to go and hang out with our friends and stuff. As much as we want to, we have to have some distance between them to prevent spread.
No doubt. Scott, you had something you want to say?
Yeah, Judge Campbell, I just wanted to say before I head off to my next meeting is that being around Clay County now for almost 60 years, that the folks here are continuing their spirit of helping one another. All of the schools here have been one of those of phone calls, emails received of how can we help? Do we need to deliver meals? Do we need to come up to the school to help out in any way? And we just ask to continue. We're on a learning curve big time. And we appreciate the patience, the understanding, and the grace that's already been given to us, because we are going to be making mistakes, most definitely. But there has already been a load of patience and understanding and grace, and we continue to ask that, and hopefully we'll continue to give it to others at the same time.
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the best summary, I think that our objective as school leaders and as educators in our county is number one, we're going to stay together and stay unified and work with you, Mike, and really lean on each other. Our support area is not just in our cities, it's also in our surrounding school districts, and school districts in Region 9 especially. I've seen them come together, and like Scott said, it's uncharted territory, but I think the three objectives that we're going to focus on is meals for our kids. We're going to find a way logistically to get those out. The second thing is communication through instruction with our staff. Our teachers miss our kids. Our kids probably miss all these activities you mentioned earlier. And so keeping that communication open, it's going to be very innovative. It's going to make us all stronger. In the end, we're all going to have to reach out of our comfort zone and try some things that we maybe haven't tried before, but we're going to open that communication in the next week or so as we're planning. And then, of course, the last thing that I would probably mention is to our employees of all of our school districts. We are all working very closely with TASB, our lawyers, and Region 9 to make sure, and TEA to make sure that not only all that funding is going to keep coming in to help pay their salaries, but we're also working with our school boards to put plans together. And I can't speak specifically for each district, but I will say as a whole, they should be getting some communication in the near future from all of us in a board meeting of some sort, where they don't need to worry about their jobs right now. They're going to be taken care of in some form or fashion. But David is exactly right. We need the support from our communities to distance themselves and follow the guidelines that your local mayor and your county judge are giving you in your school district, because we want to get back to work and we want to get back to our regular routine, and we can only do that by working together and ridding these cases that are starting to pop up.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely
yep.
Right. Good point. Thank you. Mr. Beaver?
Well, I echo everything that's been said, and I'm thankful to be a part of a hardworking group, and I'm looking forward to the new challenges, and I feel confident that by sticking together, working together, and reaching out to our families that we're going to get through this. And I so echo what has been said, that, you know, we ask for forgiveness ahead of time for the mistakes that we're going to make.
Yes.
And we're all going to make some, but we can't just sit around and do nothing. And so we're going to look forward to a better day.
Well, I'm excited about working with each of y'all. We, I think we're hopefully at the right place at the right time. And as you say, we're going to make some mistakes. And so we're looking for grace on those. But we realize that the mistakes we make have very serious consequences now. So we're going to take this thing serious and focus on education, focus on nutrition, and focus on the safety of our families here in Clay County. So once again, thank y'all very much for your time, and look forward to meeting with you again. If you have any questions or anything that if I can help you in any way, just give me a call, and we'll be glad to do that. We're ready to go. And above all, thank your staff for the work that they are doing and are going to do. You know, I've always heard in education, it's modify and adjust. Things don't always go like you had planned, so you better have a plan B. We may be down to C and D and Z before this is over. So once again, thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mike.